Well, here we are with Little Girl's Traveler. Rugged shape. When I got her, this had already been taken off the back of the cockpit, and the screws are just hanging out of it, and they'd shoved it back inside one of the cubbies underneath the cockpit from inside the boat. It was just kind of sitting there with the screw still in it, but kind of rough shape. Matter of fact, when I checked this, I have no idea what the make on this is, by the way. When I checked this earlier, I tried to pull this. This is how you set your stops. I pulled this and it would not move. Well, I've got it moving now, and this one moves just fine. It slides along the track. This is pretty. Well, let's put it this way. It hasn't seen lubrication in a long time. It goes well. It goes pretty well along the track. I mean, the rollers roll and so on and so forth. But what I'm going to do, because this is the only thing I can think of right now, I'm going to do a complete cleanup on this. I've got some WD-40 here. I know that won't last in salt water and so forth, but for right now, just for the cleaning process, I'm going to use steel wool. This is 3/0 steel wool and WD-40, and just do a real thorough cleaning up of the entire track. It's even got some spider webs and crap underneath here. That's all going to be cleaned out. The paint's all going to be cleaned off from it. And what I plan to do, I've already bought the wood for it. I've got some nice mahogany. And rather than have this bolted, they had this bolted straight into the fiberglass at the back of the, and it was a klutzy mount. I mean, I don't know who did it, but I mean, it was just horribly done. Anyway, the reason I know this is because holes are there where this had been mounted. And it must have looked horrible because it couldn't have sat level, at least level as far as, straight up and down or whatever. So what I'm going to do, I've got a piece of mahogany that I'm going to run all the way across between the, between the back edges of the cockpit, and have it perfectly wedged in and, so forth. And then mount this with screws to the mahogany. And that way it'll have a solid base. It won't be just screws going down into helter-skelter down into the fiberglass and being through bolted. Anyway, that's the plan right now, and I've got to get to work. I'll show some results of this in a few minutes after I get some work done on it. Not that it will ever have to do this, but my Traveler is absolutely traveling now. I want you to watch this. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Okay. Not that, like I said, it'll never have to do this on the boat, but just watch this. I mean, it's smooth as silk, and I love it. So cool. Main thing is I just really lubricated these rollers and the track. So everything has been totally clean. The track, and the rollers, and everything's just really been kind of. And that's the name of the game with a lot of these old boats. It's a matter of reconditioning. Just everything just needs to be reconditioning. This boat is going on 50 years old. So anyway, good deal. Glad that's all done. Now my next job is going to be get out the actual main sheet, which is right down here in this bag, and take a look at that and look at how how the pulleys are, I don't know what you call those, the blocks are doing, lubricate those all up. I want to get those all completely in excellent condition so that when the time comes I can mount this on the mahogany at the back of the cockpit, and it'll just be ready to go. Here's the main sheet of the block. This is really pretty simple. There's not a whole lot to this, but you can see right here this pin, actually this pin right here on the Traveler, yep, hang on, goes to right here. Okay, which means that this is going to hang vertically like this, tied right into that, and there's your chocks. So you can, you know, chalk your line in place, and then this, you go up here to the top block, and this goes to the bottom side of your boom right here. And so there it is. That's the and the line doesn't look, you know, it looks very worn, but you know what, probably I can get away with it for this year. I don't know that I'm going to change this out. Here's the rest of it right here for your main sheet. I don't think I'm going to change this out. I definitely am going to clean these blocks up though, and just do the same thing I did on the track. Probably WD-40 and a whole lot of cleaning. Some steel wool and lubricating the wheels. See, that's actually seems to be traveling smoothly. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. Yeah. Anyway, okay, that's it. That's it for the main sheet blocks and the setup. Obviously, you can't put any of this together. You know, I mean, I could put this into a clip, but I'm not going to do that right now. The main thing I just want to do is just a whole lot of reconditioning. This is what we've done so far. Before we ever got here, on the last trip I did this. This is just with buffing compound and my random orbital sander, and it works great. I mean, it takes everything, takes all the haze, the fog off from it and so forth. But this isn't with any wax on it yet. I mean, this is just buffing compound, and you know, trying to buff out the garbage. And see, when I step back here, and you look at this. That's what it did look like. So that gives you an idea of how far we've come. Understand, for this year, this is all we're doing. I'm not going to go ahead and I may try to get some touch-up paint. I don't know. But in the meantime, for this year, we're not going to go ahead and repaint. I don't have time, and it'll be fine. It's only going to be, if I get in the water, it's only going to be in for a couple of weeks and then come right back out. So anyway. Okay, on with the work. I'm going to start buffing all this out. Try to get the whole, at least the whole starboard side done. We'll see how much time we have for the rest of the day, and if we get it done, we'll catch up with this a little bit later. I've all the way up, almost to the bow, and I'm chomping at the bit. I don't know if you can see this. I really want to see those. Where are they? There you go. See the numbers get gone. The old numbers that were on this thing, and I think this buffing compound is going to take it right out. So anyway, about to complete the starboard side of the hull here, and really looking forward to this. After that, there's a lot more elbow grease because it's all going to be wiped off, and then everything's going to be waxed. But I'll probably press on and do the port side of the hull and buff that out first before I go back to waxing. It's better this way. I don't know if I can back up and not trip over something, but anyway, buffing out is all done, stem to stern. And anyway, fine on the buffing out. Still want some wax. By the way, right about here, right in there, you can tell that's an area that I waxed. But anyway, all the way back here, and I'm going to have a segment in here showing this where I hung a tape measure up. I'm looking at the back of the transom here, and I've determined a little girl across the back in an arch, and 3.5 inches high. But anyway, I just shot that picture, and anyway, I haven't buffed this out yet, but just doing that for planning and wishful thinking more than anything. So maybe someday, little girl will actually get in the water. She will. I'm determined that she will. This is one time when it's too bad you can't do smell-o-vision, because it is low tide in East Bay, and this is so beautiful, and good time to dig some clams in here. Long time ago, I sailed Clarissa all the way from North Bay down the coast up to East Bay. And it was an awesome. We had a northwesterly wind, and I was just gorgeous sail all the way down here. The cut is over here, where you sail into this little East Bay harbor. And the cool thing was that I got in here, and it was just I was feeling triumphant. Only problem was with the northwest wind and my little boat, 12.5 feet, and a sail to match. The northwest wind just kept me. I had to wait till the next morning when there was a change of winds and it was coming out of the southwest, and then I had enough wind to be able to sail back up the coast and get it back up to North Bay where my mooring was. So, sadly, long ago I gave up my mooring and have no mooring down here, and it's virtually impossible to get one now. It's you wait a lifetime, and after you're dead, they still might give it to your great-grandchildren or something. So, anyway, what a pretty place. Well, this is a wrap. The boat's all covered right now. You can see the tarp is over the port lights, and getting ready to leave. It hasn't been the greatest trip, but gotten a lot done, and I think the key here is just be determined. It's all going to get done, and it's just going to be taking a while to do it. So anyway, thank you guys for being patient and hanging out and coming back time after time to Restoring a Little Girl. We're now into our second year, and I'll be honest with you, I thought maybe it'd go a little faster than this, but restoring an old boat takes time. And what I've learned is that it's step by step, and you just got to keep going. And even though I'm not as far as I want to be, we've come a long way. And I've just got to take that as my encouragement and just be determined that we're pressing on. And we're going to get this done eventually. So, guys, thanks for dropping by Restoring a Little Girl. Come on back the next time. And I hope you enjoy this episode. We've tried to present the reality of things that are getting done and things that we want to get done, and we'll just keep you posted as she gets closer and closer to getting in the water. Thanks for coming by.